there, welcome back to Umbraco Learning Base. My name is Isha, and in this video, we'll look at adding and configuring workflows to our Umbraco forms. Workflows define an action as to what happens after your form is submitted. For example, once the form is submitted, should it display a message on the front end, or send an email to the user, or create a content node of the record, and so on. Let's look at where we can add or configure workflows on our Umbraco forms. This is my Umbraco back office. I'll go to the form section and expand the forms folder. Here I have a contact us form. At the bottom of the form, I have a default workflow already attached to the form. We also have an option to configure the workflow. If we choose the Configure Workflow option, we can see the default workflows set up by Umbraco forms. So, when a form is submitted, two actions will take place. The first one is Submit Message or Go to Page. Here, we can customize the default submit message displayed to the user. The other workflow sends an email template with the results of the form to the specified email address. Besides the default workflow, we also have an option to add a workflow. Clicking on Add Workflow displays the different built-in workflow types that can be used to extend the functionality of your form. For more information on the different workflow types, you can refer to our documentation. I'll leave the link in the description box below. For this video, I'll add Slack as a workflow type. I'll give it a name and add a webhook URL and submit the workflow. The workflow type is now added to our default workflow. Below, we have an option to add a workflow that will run when the form entry is approved. Form entries can be approved automatically or manually once the form is submitted. You can configure these values in the appsettings.json file. I'll leave the documentation link below. Let's configure this as well. I'll click on Add Workflow and select Change Record State. I'll give the workflow a name and in the words field, I'll enter company and properties. And from the Actions drop-down, I'll select Approve Record and submit the workflow type. So what will happen when we submit the form? A message will be displayed on the page and an email will be sent to me with the data filled in from the form, and a Slack message will be sent to the Slack channel. Once the form entry is approved, the record status will be changed to approved. It's now time to see the workflows in action. I'll go to the Contact Us node and click on the published link. I'll enter the form details here. And submit the form. Cool. The customized form message is displayed here and we also received a Slack notification. Let's look at it. So we have the form details messaged in the Slack channel. Now let's look at the form entry in the back office. I'll go to the form section and click on Entries. We have our entry here and looks like one of the workflow process has failed. Clicking on the form entry, it displays the form details that I just entered, and below we can see the workflow audit. In this case, the email workflow has failed because I haven't configured the SMTP settings. The other two workflow types have been submitted or approved and completed. The failed record has a retry link available if you wish to trigger the workflow again. I'll quickly add the SMTP settings and then retry the workflow. I'll go to Visual Studio and stop my application and add the SMTP settings here. And now run the application again. I'll go to the form section and go to the form entry and click the retry link again. And the workflow is now completed. If you wish to run the workflow again, you can click on the Run Again link. So, when a form is submitted, any workflows associated with the on-submit stage of the form will run sequentially in the configured order. Similarly, any workflows associated with the on-approve stage, whether automatic or manual, will trigger the execution of the workflows upon form approval. For any workflows that did not complete successfully, a retry link is available to trigger the workflow again. And that's pretty much it. You can add or configure workflows as per your requirements. If you have a temporary infrastructure glitch, you have the full flexibility to trigger the workflow again once the issue is resolved. I hope this video has been useful and helps you to use Umbraco forms seamlessly. Stay tuned for more amazing videos. Until then, take care and stay safe.